Hi, Okey Dokey here. Let's see, it's flosstube number 13. Um, I'm going to call it blackbirds. Ugh. Um, Main reason is I'll tell you that story at the very end. Um, but it's getting close to Halloween, so who knows. I'll just start off with a bit of an update. I've been very busy, mainly being away. We were away in Europe for 3.5 months, so it was a long time, and now we've got all the gardening and all that stuff to do. So that's been keeping us fairly busy. So I've been doing a fair bit, but I've still managed to get some needlework done, of course. Um, I've worked a bit, I've been very selective and really focused on certain items, so you'll see. This is my nice portable one, which is a Brittany sampler that I started on Mania. And I like this because it's pretty, and I've just do it on one of the days with one of the afternoon cross-stitching craft groups that I've got. And it's coming along. I like the colors with it, but that's one that I actually got in France quite a few years ago. And then I've got the one that I'm doing for my dad's. After my dad died, I decided to pick a sampler that reminded me of him and do it. And I've been very late at doing this. This is by Design Works, and it's on 14 Ada, and it's got I think DMC, but it's coming off quite nice, and I only do it one day a week when I go to Guild. So I've been working on the snowshoes, and I've got the back stitching is going to take me ages to do this, but I've got a bit more in this bit here, and I'm getting there slowly. And then it's American football time, and coming from the States and stuff, I do like watching football. So what better thing to do it with than Death by Cross Stitch, which I started during Mania. And I haven't gotten very far, mainly because it's such a big project that it's not too portable for me. And I've now finally got it set up the way that I want in the lounge. So I'm just barely starting on the horse. And I was going to do it with this color is my primary color, which is 347 DMC. And then I was going to add in the variegated, many different colors, and I got heaps of them. But I've sort of chickened out the next couple days, last couple weeks, and I may do it all in this color, and I'm just hoping that it doesn't run, because I don't trust reds very much. But that's just habit. It's probably old stuff. The majority of my stitching that I've been working on since I got back has been the Sarah Brazier. And I've finished 2 pages. So I've now done 6, and I'm starting page 7. So there it is, and it is beautiful. It's in DMC, and it's just huge. And you can tell I'd read, because otherwise I'd be hopelessly lost. Now I've started this carrying on threads, which makes it a real mess, but it's fun. And I love this sampler, and I'll continue on it as the main focus until I get the thing done. And then while I was at it, I decided I already have the next one. Well, Sarah, My Beloved, 1656, gift from My Beloved. And I got this, and getting the fabric for it has been a proper pain, because I don't want to make it absolutely huge. So I just broke down and just ordered it from Canada. And unfortunately, I have to buy another chart. So them's the breaks. But I'll get there. And what else am I into? Since I'm not doing too much, well, I'm doing selected needlework to chug through some of it. I like my my scissors. I got this in London and finally broke down. And I always thought these were quite tinny, and the majority of them are. And this one's quite nice. And I'll see if it's got a name in it. Probably not that I can see. This one is quite nice, and it must be fair quality. It's fairly heavy. Quite nice. I normally have some other needlecraft, some other scissors. Let me see if I've got one. Here's the type that I usually get. The type that's pretty standard in New Zealand. I love these. These are they're stainless. Kai, whatever, from Japan. And these, if I hold it still, you might actually be able to see it. Maybe not. Anyway, these have a nice pointed end, which is really handy. But this one's fairly good, but you can see it's not quite as pointy as the other one, but so far so good. We got the new threads book in Guild, and so that's absolutely heaps, and some marvelous stitching in New Zealand. I've just barely done a quick peek at this, but there's some marvelous embroiderers in New Zealand, so it's really kind of fun. What have I been into? Tearing out weeds in the garden, doing stuff like that, and planting new garden. Let's see. Hubby bought a bird feeder, which was great for sparrows, and we ended up with about 40 sparrows at once, and they just went nuts. And all they got, and they really, there was birdseed everywhere. And so he's given up on that and pretty much going to give that a miss. Unfortunately, it sort of attracted a blackbird. And blackbirds are really nice to look at, but they're kind of nasty. In the schools in New Zealand, they dive bomb kids and peck their heads. And so the kids really have to watch, wear hard hats almost, because they can be quite nasty. So I've got a pesky one that even with a tunnel in the garden to put some of my plants out, he's very selective at tearing up lettuces and also tomato plants. And so he's just leaving them lie there. He doesn't really eat them. Occasionally he'll just break off the branches on the tomato plants, and he's just destructive. He's a naughty little bugger. So it's not very often, but I sort of tempted to get a slingshot. I know that sounds horrible. I like birds. Don't get me wrong, but I am getting tired of going up and picking them up. So ours, our plants at this stage are sort of in quarantine until they can sort of survive the bird. But otherwise, that's what we're up to. Otherwise, the weather is beautiful here. Yeah, nice sunny days and just really enjoying things. So I know this is a bit of a quick update. Oh, what have I been watching with the floss tubers? I have a list somewhere. Don't you hate it when you make a list and then you leave it somewhere? Here, I thought I was being so organized. Excuse me. Oh well, have to do it from memory, which is, I remembered. Sorry about that. I'm going back on to flosstube and taking a look at the people that I normally do. Kitten Stitcher, always good. Just really enjoy listening to her, and that's good. Kindred Stitcher, very good. I also like the quilting that she does too, and I must admit I got back into my quilting. And then Tash, she does some fabulous stitching and stuff, and gosh, she's far ahead with Sarah Brazier. So, but she is such a good, talented stitcher, and I was really pleased with listening to all of them. I'm gone through so many lately. Michelle Bendy Stitcher and stuff I'm listening to at the moment. You still got to do Holly and Anita. Cindy, I've listened to. I've got to listen to the ones in Wales and stuff, and Stitchy Ray, and there are so many that I just haven't even gotten to yet. And I am having to prune some of them down because my list was growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. So it's gotten really big. And of course with Halloween I've also gotten into doing different things, not only puzzles, but also reading and watching Netflix and Merlin and The Haunted House of Mill Street. That is scary, but good. Just right for Halloween stitching. I just have to watch that I don't get scared and stab myself with a needle. So otherwise, thoroughly enjoy things like that. Otherwise, I hope you guys are all doing well with your stitching and enjoying things. I should be a lot more informative next time. And otherwise, let's see, this week, just the evening craft group, which we get together with a bunch of quilters, and there's one lady who does beautiful felting of animals and does little bitty animals like llamas and cats and dogs, and it's just fabulous. And another one does beading and stuff and does some marvelous jewelry. And a lot of us do cross stitch and knitting. There are some marvelous knitters and stuff. And then my weekly embroidery guild, and there are some really fabulous embroidery pieces that are being done. So that's always good. It's always good to have things like that and have a look at things. And I always think they're sort of like eye candy. So anyway, happy stitching. I hope it's good. It's Labor Day here, so it's a holiday. So most people are just taking it easy, feet up, and doing what they want. Okay. You guys take care and keep out of trouble. Bye.